Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I hope you are doing well. I know I have been MIA for quite some time, but not to worry, I am back. So I'm so happy the last video was quite useful to most of you, and some of you followed up with private messages asking questions, and I figured I'm going to be answering those questions in subsequent videos. But today I'm doing a follow-up from the previous video, so if you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's basically the pathway, the medical pathway for doctors coming to Germany, and I talked about the visa application process up until getting my medical license. So today I'm telling you guys about the residency process in Germany. How did I get into residency in Germany? Let's go right straight to it. So number one, the most important thing you need in order to get into a specialization of your choice is the medical license. So you either have to have like the temporary license, which is the Berufserlaubnis, or the permanent medical license, which is the approbation. It doesn't matter which one you have, but it's like the first step. You have to have it already. So once you have like the medical license, the second thing is you have to search by yourself. So it's not like America or one of these places where you match and then you get an area of specialization. No, you have to choose. So you have to know what you want, and then you have to start applying to get jobs. I'll tell you my own story. Once I had my approbation, which is the medical license, I started applying for jobs and for an unpaid internship position. I know it sounds crazy. I think on the first day I sent about 6 applications, and then the next day I got a response from one of the hospitals inviting me for an interview. It feels just like yesterday. Yeah, so I did go for the interview. It went really well. I spoke with the chief of the department, and at the end of the interview, he offered me the job. And I told him, I said, look, I'm so grateful. I'm happy for this job offer, but I would love to first do an internship, unpaid internship for 1 or 2 months, just to learn and have a feel of how the German medical system works. I had never worked a day in my life after med school, so I wanted to have a feel. First, it's not English, it's German, it's a new language. I just wanted to know how everything works. I knew the theory, but the practical part was very important. He thought about it for a second, and he's like, okay, you can start next week. So that's how I started going for, instead of working and getting paid. Some people thought I was crazy, like, Lucy, you don't need money, right? I'm like, no, I need money, but the experience I feel I need at this point is way more important than the money. So I felt if I had survived over a year in Germany so I came in March 2019, and in April the next year I had already done like the language school. I had prepared for the exam, and I had my medical license in my hand. So that was like 1 year. I had everything in 1 year, and I felt if I survived 1 year, then I can survive 2 more months without getting paid, So that was my mentality at the point. And I will tell you, it was one of the best decisions I made at the time. I worked, so when you leave med school, you tend to forget a lot of things. Theory just flies out your brain. So this time I used it to learn ECGs. I had to refresh my memory. What else did I learn? I did like the blood taking and cannula insertions, all those basic things which you're supposed to know. In fact, I had forgotten most of those things. So this was a good time to relearn and just sort of master the act. I felt another thing is when you're being paid for a job and when you're learning and not getting paid, I think the level of what they expect from you is quite different. I don't know if you get. So, but well, long story short, I did the hospitation, and the hospitation basically in German is Hospitation. It's like this unpaid internship. I did that for 2 months, and then I felt, yeah, I'm ready. I think the colleagues that I had worked with said, I think you're ready, you know. So after that, I got the job offer to start working. But I think the human resource department at that hospital didn't seem to have so much experience with foreign doctors. They were mostly Germans. So they wanted me to present a work permit in order to issue my job contract. But in reality, it's the other way around. You need a job contract in order to get like the work permit. And we kept going back and forth, and I'm just like, you know what, it's okay. So I left the hospital and I went back to searching from the beginning. I searched every day for almost 2 weeks, and I didn't get a response back. I'm just like, what's happening? The first time I searched, I got a response just almost immediately. So I had that mentality and that mindset, I'll get a response very quickly, but to no avail. I got tired of searching daily. I was searching. I became the Mrs. Find Attached. So one day I reached out to a job agency. There are 2 ways to get jobs in Germany. You either search by yourself like I did in the beginning, or you can contact job agencies. You don't have to pay them. They get the jobs. The hospital which you get to work for pays these agents. So you get to pay nothing. And so I reached out to some agents and I'm like, I'm looking for a job, internal medicine. So please help me. And they went out searching. At the end of it all, they got a job and fixed an interview. So that's the hospital where I work right now. So I went there, the environment was nice, everything. I felt I could learn, so I accepted the job. Here is where my previous 2 months of not getting paid, of just learning basics, this was where it paid off. So I started my first day of work with more confidence, with, I don't know, I just felt more relaxed as to when I had forgotten so many things and I was on the edge. So I started this job very relaxed. Just, I knew I was going to learn on the job, but the basic things I had already learned. So after 3 months of working, you won't believe this, the chief says to me, we are so impressed with your performance and we will end your probation time like right now. You've passed probation in 3 months. It's supposed to be in 6 months, So in Germany, if you get a job, within 6 months, you can either leave the job with no reason, or the employer can say, oh, we don't want your service anymore and you have to leave. But within 3 months, they were impressed and I got the email congratulating me and all that. So that paid off really, really well. That was how I started internal medicine, and I'm happy, I'm glad that things worked out that way, And so basically, if you are going into residency, you have to already have an idea of what you want to do. 2, you have to be patient with the search process. Sometimes it goes quickly, sometimes it doesn't. 3, when you get the job, if you don't have any experience at all, or even before you get a job, I will advise you get this unpaid internship. They are called Hospitation. It's better to get them, have a sense of how it works before you actually go on your first day as a doctor to work, if that makes sense. I would strongly advise you do that. It does help a lot. But if you already have experience and you feel there is no need for that, then you'll also be fine. And you don't necessarily all have to do that as well. I know quite a lot of people who just started from the very beginning. They learned every single thing on the job. Everyone is different. Do what works for you. So basically, that's how I got my residency position, and that's how it works in Germany. Basically, it doesn't matter what specialty, it's the same process. You have your license and then you start applying for jobs. I hope this video will be useful to you, and if you have any other questions, leave it in the comment section. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Keep your light shining.